This is EA Sports. PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Well, every golfer wants to come home, and here we are at the home of golf, the old course at St. Andrews. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports.
Yeah, and Rich, this is just a wonderful place to play the game. Every player that's ever sort of learnt to swing the golf club, this is the one course they wanted to play. The reason why is because every great this game has ever seen has walked across Saucon Bridge.
Frank, this is such an historic, iconic spot. When you tee off for the first hole at the old course, you're nervous, you're intimidated, inspired?
Yeah, all of the above. You realize you're about to set foot on one of the hallowed grounds of golf where every great player has played. And it looks like a relatively simple hole, out of bounds down the right, and then the Saucon burn starts to meander its way all the way down the right side and then in front of that first green. So you'd like, especially if you're a little nervous, to have a nice full shot in for your second.
Now the Swede with all sorts of personality, Jonas Blixt, getting set for his approach. Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Frank, on the second shot here at this first hole, a player will get a good sense of the winds here and how they can play a role at the old course.
And they'll also get a good sense of exactly how punishing this golf course can be, and with such the smallest things. For example, that burn is only about 3 or 4 yards across, and yet it is punishing, to say the least.
Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Well, that's all you want right there. Just lag it down, don't get too crazy, and now just a tap in left. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Just a couple of feet. And so just getting started, even par so far. Trying to move on with a par in his pocket. Still even par for the day. Here we are now at the second. Always so important to try and establish a good round in these opening holes, Frank.
Yeah, in the second hole, especially with a prevailing breeze and today's modern equipment, the odd player has actually driven this green, but you really see the tone of the golf course. The middle of the golf course is protected. There's a series of bunkers down there, but the left is always the safe side of the golf course, because the best line to play your second shot from on the whole golf course is always the right side, and we see that here at the second. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank did the prudent thing there, didn't he?
Yeah, in the end, really, you could have turned that into a disaster instead. Actually, a good chance, really, to perhaps get away with par.
Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
The second shot. Well, given the choice, most players would rather play from the green grass versus the white sand.
Yeah, there was no advantage to try and take that much more out of that fairway bunker. Couldn't reach the green. It's a smart play.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Blixt now ready for his third shot. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
You like that right there, Frank?
Beautiful lag putt. Great pace.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well. Even par currently.
To 1 over par early on in this round. Trying to get out of here without too many bumps and bruises. This one is for bogey. Putt drops. Now at 1 over par. On the tee box here at the third now. Frank, all these holes look relatively straightforward. Can a golfer get lured in a kind of a false sense of security off the tee here at the old course?
No, well, you can. This hole, the third hole, even shorter than the second, so reachable. But a lot of people tend to bail out towards the left. That's the middle of the golf course. And that leaves you a devilish little pitch or short wedge across that big gaping bunker that protects both the third and the 15th green. So once again, want to drive the ball down the right side, but there's a series of pot bunkers there.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Chance to get it close here. Frank, the beauty of golf, we're not playing inside a dome with no wind. You have to be able to handle the elements.
You do, and that's really where the better player comes through. On a day like today, anything around par is going to be a good score, so just adjust your own mental par.
Safely aboard. In the greenside bunker, Frank, little bit of a problem. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
How did that stay out, Frank?
Did everything but go in.
Jonas attempting this for par. Oh my goodness, Frank, that is painful.
Oh, yeah, you'd rather miss the hole at times, wouldn't you?
Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. +2 already. At the fourth hole now, and Frank, this one looks as though it might require a little bit of club selection off the tee. What are we looking at, partner?
Well, there is two ways to play the fourth off the tee. You can hit it down the right side, but it really starts to narrow up and it's slightly shorter. Most players go towards the middle of the golf course and try and get it on that plateau. But this, certainly the first hard hole you see at St. Andrews.
That's a bit offline in the rough.
This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough.
Oh, that's off the beaten track. You've got 5 minutes to find it.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way.
Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. And setting up here in the rough.
Well, from in trouble, Rich, at least he's back in play.
On the fairway from the rough. And he's set up for his third shot here, looking to get it on the green with this. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. That is a beauty, a real beauty.
Well, Rich, it's been a disaster until this point, but there's an escape clause. If he can make bogey from here, that'll be something to be proud of.
Will feel actually pretty good. Sometimes you see players walk off a hole with a little bounce in their step, even after a bogey, because they've had to work hard for it. And getting ready for the putt.
Oh, how did that miss?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that one was dead center. Patrick Rodgers for bogey. That looked for all the world like it was dead center.
I've got no idea how that missed.
Well, not going to make par here. He needs this to only give up one. So with that, 3 over par now for the round. Nudge this one home, finish it up. Take no pleasure in saying it, but it's a fact. It's a double bogey. Par 5s, this is where players look to make the move in a major championship. How does this 5th hole par 5 measure up, Frank?
Well, if you can avoid the bunkers, they're actually left and right, but especially that little group of 3 bunkers, then it sets up well. It'll be a blind second shot, but you try and guide your second shot between the 2 bunkers on the hill in front of you, which are called the spectacles.
Good tee shot right in the short grass.
Second shot.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Nice position, short grass, second shot. This one is definitely heading left. Looks like it is going to end up in the rough. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball. Good swing, good shot yet again. Frank, how good was that just to get it on the green?
Well, from that shot there, you would have thought for sure that there was no chance he had of finding the green. That was some shot.
Now his third, staring right at the green. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. That was well judged, wasn't it? Talk to any of the experts, they will tell you this is a guy to keep an eye on. Patrick Rodgers has this now for birdie. So with that, they're trying to fight back, now at 2 over. Now to the 374-yard par 4 sixth, another scoring opportunity.
Yeah, just be very careful of the wind conditions here because that'll affect the strategy off the tee, but bunkers left and right to be avoided. Great Bobby Jones used to say the hardest shot in golf's the next one. Judging by that light, it's not going to be too hard.
Set for his next shot from a good position in the fairway. This is going to be a tough day on the links. I mean, even the seagulls are walking to work. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
That's a disappointment right there, Frank.
Yeah, green light special, really. Come up considerably short.
Pretty long putt right here. You'd be happy to get it to within 2-3 feet. That's all he wanted to do there.
Yeah, it's touch. And when you think from that distance, chances of making are almost none. So to guarantee a two-putt, well done.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. So frustrating sometimes on the greens, isn't it? Drop shot here at the 6th. So he has that for bogey. I can't help but think that the double bogey back on the 4th hole seems to have really put him off his game. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Rolls in the par putt, stays at +2. Over the ball here at the 7th, and Frank, if you had to script a game plan here, what would it look like?
You could drive this pretty close to the green. This is a green that's shared with the 11th, the par 3. And so you won't see that tee shot finish, but you can actually drive very, very close to a bunker called the shell, which is the one that protects the par 3 11th. Yeah, it was a little over-ambitious. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. He'll need to be strong with this. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Frank did the prudent thing there, didn't he?
Yeah, in the end, really, you could have turned that into a disaster instead. Actually, a good chance, really, to perhaps get away with par.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Frank not close, but from that line, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Blixt now ready for his 3rd shot. Getting set now over the putt.
Just when you think you're going to make birdie. Now, have to really concentrate on this and at least make par.
Here's the colorful Jonas Blixt. Good putter, and this is for par. Two over for the day. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Now to the par 3/8. Frank, what's the best way to go at it?
Well, for these players, straight at the flag. This is the first par 3 you'll see, and a good chance to make 2 coming up ahead. But we do see a lot of long putts here with an errant tee shot.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
That was not a very good read right there. He has this putt for birdie.
We often say, Rich, you should always try and make it. I got to disagree with that. Lag putting, it's just about taking the strain off the next one. There's always other holes to be played.
And from that distance, you settle for 2 putts. Needs birdies at some point, but will take the par to stay at 2 over. No problems there.
Yeah, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
Frank, the old course all about avoiding the pot bunkers. They're so nasty. This is a good example here, the 9th hole.
Yeah, the pot bunkers really to be avoided are the ones in the middle of the fairway, but there are some that sneak in on the left side, plus that gorse on the left. If you can carry that last one, which is called the end hole, then there's a chance to perhaps drive this green.
Right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that? Well, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Well, the tee shot has landed in the bunker. Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, you just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
The second shot. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. Second shot now for Jonas Blixt. Locked in on the read and the speed. There you have it. Well done. Great putt. Let's see if Blixt can make a birdie here. So a tester from 4 feet. That's a par. Stays at +2. Starting the second 9 here at the Open Championship, Frank, with a par 4 10th.
Well, this is another chance really to drive a par 4, especially if you're a game, but you've got to hit that tee shot a little left of those 2 bunkers that are just short and right of this green. But course down the left, you've still got to be careful. Don't just flail away. But this hole, what a great name. It's called Bobby Jones.
Looks to be a good setup going into the green here at the 10th. Frank, this one's going too far left, it looks like.
Yeah, it was fine there for a little while, but if it keeps going left, it's doomed.
Pretty good result right there, considering...
It looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, really did.
Second shot. Good look at the green. So trying to get the back 9 off to a good start. The approach shot is on the green, but he still has work to do. This is about a 30-footer coming up. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. Looks like he just misread that. Frank, he'll have to take a full swing at this putt for birdie.
This is long, but every now and again, one of these finds the bottom of the cup and makes that magic sound.
Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Patrick Rodgers has this for par. Never a bad score on the card. That's par. Has this to save par. Did the job right there. Frank, number 11, the Eden, is really one of the more fascinating holes in all of golf.
Yeah, the 2 bunkers that the players normally worry about, Strath bunker in the front and the Hill bunker to the left. What makes those 2 bunkers so difficult is the steepness of the faces in them.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. So this is where club selection becomes much more important. Uphill, make sure you have enough stick, and then swing away. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. That is an excellent lag putt right there. Had the speed perfectly. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. He's made it. Nudge this one home, finish it up. Frank, the charm of St. Andrews, the history of the old course, it all sort of comes into view here at the 12th, doesn't it?
Yeah, very pretty hole. Eden Estuary to the right. Obviously a nice view of the township of St. Andrews in the distance. But long hitters can just lick their chops and have a crack at this green. All they've got to do is worry about that little pot bunker short. But either into the breeze, or if you're not a long hitter, you've got to worry about those 4 bunkers that are well placed smack bang in the middle of this fairway.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Blixt for birdie. Makes it and moves to 1 over. Settles in over the putt. Putt drops. Now at 1 over par. Frank, how about the bunkers here at 13? A rather ominous sounding name.
Yeah, the coffins, and they are that for a reason. If you finish up in there, well, the best you'll probably ever do is make a bogey, unless you're an absolute genius. They're to be avoided, certainly off the tee. If you do, it's still a difficult hole. The second shot, unless you hit a perfect tee shot, will be blind.
How tough is this going to be now from the rough, Frank?
Oh, it's tough to say, Rich. I mean, so much is going to depend on that lie. I'm going to need a little bit of luck. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
.190 now on the second shot. Look out left.
And there's rough over there.
Frank did the prudent thing there, didn't he?
Yeah, in the end, really, you could have turned that into a disaster instead. Actually, a good chance, really, to perhaps get away with par.
Patrick Rodgers' third shot. Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. Now the Swede with all sorts of personality, Jonas Blixt, getting set for his approach. And now a putt from 24 feet away. Wow, I thought he made that. That is a painful miss right there. And a bogey, drop shot here at the 13th. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Solid effort and reasonable result to stay at 1 over par. Just a little tap in here. So Frank, that's a bogey, and you see something with the body language here?
Yeah, I think we noticed that back there with that double bogey, Rich. Since then, it's almost like doubts crept in, a little bit of uncertainty. That is the beauty of this game at times, but really, if you want to be a champion, that's one thing that you have to change. Somehow, you've got to forget what's just happened. We haven't seen that yet. Second shot. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. And he steps up to take this shot from the fairway. Blixt now ready for his third shot. Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Third shot, looking for a good one. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance. That was cruel. It looked like it was certainly going in. We often say, Rich, you should always try and make it. I've got to disagree with that. Lag putting, it's just about taking the strain off the next one. There's always other holes to be played.
From that distance, you settle for 2 putts. Well, this one's tracking. What a sensational putt that was, Frank.
Unbelievable. Pace, line, everything to perfection.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Needs birdies at some point, but will take the par to stay at 2 over. Time to tee it up here at the 15th as we begin the closing stretch here at the Open Championship of the Old Course at St. Andrews.
There's a big steeple in the distance, so even when it starts to fog in a bit, if you can keep your eye on that, that's a good line off the tee. And you've got to keep it, your tee shot just short of this sort of heather, big crop of heather down the left side. It still leaves you a lengthy second shot, but really that's the safest way to try and play this par 4 15th. Very good par 4. Rich, there's rough and rough. That ball is needle nose down.
Can't even see it from here. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, for players looking to improve their putting, what are some of the training methods they can use?
I think speed is always a good one when you get on the putting green and you just practice trying to putt inside that 3-foot circle, because in the end all sports are the same. You're trying to focus in on the destination where that ball has to be delivered, whether it's tennis inside the court or basketball inside the rim. Putting's no different. As you get further and further away from the hole, then you just make an acceptable size circle that you're trying to putt within. So pace, very important.
Rodgers just wants to keep this round moving along. This is for par. How does that not go in?
Amazing. Stroke looked good, line looked good, just did not take that final break.
And getting ready for the putt. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Just a couple of feet. Not his best effort right there. That's a bogey, and now 3 over. So they'll tap in. Just a shade over par, +1. 16th hole is a par 4 here at the Old Course. Frank, with another one of those sort of funky features.
Yes, a series of 3 bunkers called the Principal's Nose, plus that out of bounds on the right. So really err on the side of caution, avoiding both the out of bounds and the Principal's Nose. Nothing wrong with going a little bit left here. But the further left you go, then it makes that second shot that much harder because you'll have to bring it across that little pot bunker in the front called the weg. There is fairway out there. There is.
He can't find it, though.
Rich, do you think we should tell him there's fairway out there?
Yeah, he's been in the rough all day long. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
Frank, that was a pretty tough lie out of the rough there.
Yeah, it made that actually a little easier than what it really is. It would have been too easy to try and bite off more than you can chew. So I got to give him a pat on the back for that.
Back in the fairway. This is a cross-country special. You like that right there, Frank?
Beautiful lag putt. Great pace.
Locked in on the read and the speed. How did that stay out, Frank?
Did everything but go in.
That is a solid par putt right there. So just a formality here. Been a rocky road to this point. 4 over par on the round. Frank, the 17th hole, you can get room service along the way here?
You can. If you flare one right there, you'll also pay a penalty for out of bounds. And so that hamburger better taste good, better be worth it. A little left of that, a little left of the out of bounds, and you're left with a second shot. It's fairly daunting because you have the road hole bunker to avoid and the road behind the green. Hence the name.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. He needs a break right here. That one is headed OB. Look out. Frank, they always say it's a game of inches, and this time, inches to the plus side.
Also a little bit of luck there. Gust to wind anything, and that ball was definitely out of bounds.
Second from an excellent lie. Oh, man, not a good shot at all.
It was wicked.
Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down. Well, that was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Pretty good shot right there. All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know, it might just go in.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
Oh, another one goes in.
This is a par putt for Patrick Rodgers. Just a tap in to finish the hole. Hard to be perfect in this game. That's a bogey. Frank, is there a more famous landmark in the sport than the tiny Swoken Bridge?
I think when you think of this game, the way in which we've followed it and covered it, Rich, over the last decade plus, no. It is just symbolic, not just with this golf course, but the game of golf itself, because every great champion has managed to make his foray across to Scotland and play the old course and walk across that bridge. That's an absolute beauty.
Second shot now for Jonas Blixt. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. So maybe a nice way to finish up with a good approach here to the 18th and a good chance for birdie. Now Patrick Rodgers on the approach shot. Good chance here. Oh, he's gonna love it.
How far was that? That was miles away.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Solid effort today, round of 72. Well, Frank, how do you begin to sum up what we've seen at the birthplace of golf today? The course, the scenery, the weather, the play. It was really all vintage St. Andrews.
Absolute pleasure to play the old course once again, Rich. You can see how technology might have changed it. There's a few more par fours that are reachable these days for the longer hitters, but still,